Today is an exciting day for Berkeley County, something that we've been working on for about a year or well over a year, and it's to go in partnership with truly a group of experts to take a airport that we're very proud of, and Stacy and her team do an amazing job running it, and just take it to a whole nother level, a level that will benefit the county to a greater degree, and something that will help our thriving business and industrial development in the county, and also a lot of the folks that are moving here and traveling to the county. So we're excited about that. This is a 236-acre site. We're entering into a 40-year lease with the Charleston Regional Aviation Authority. And the big question is, why is Berkeley County doing this? Berkeley County still owns the property. It's the Berkeley County Airport. For us, it's just a matter of who can run the airport the best. And we're blessed to be adjacent to or near a group of experts that can do an amazing job at this. If you follow our county very closely at all, primarily and day to day, we deal with issues involving growth and all the fallout of that. Investment in public safety is at the forefront. The Sheriff's Office, EMS, 911, fire. We're consumed with roads, intersections, road widenings, traffic. And those are the things that the public need us to focus on the most as a government. This process also involves humbling yourself as a county government, going, is there a partnership out there that can run this better than we run it by ourselves? And it's an easy decision, and it's something that we came to not quickly, but deliberately, and something that we're excited about. We have 2 full-time employees at this airport. We will continue to have 2 full-time employees at this airport, and also several part-time employees that will continue to work in the aviation field. And I think your future and career is better than it's ever been, our employees. So we have, the Charleston region is very close. Elliot Summey, who runs the authority, is, I was a high school teacher when he was at North Charleston High School, so we've known each other a long, long time. So there's a lot of faith and trust there. But even with that faith and trust, members of this team and members of our team, I think we crafted a really good agreement for the benefit of the Berkeley County public and taxpayers. Right now, we run this airport pretty lean and pretty efficiently. But it runs on about $100,000 a year deficit. So we're in a situation where taxpayers are supplementing an airport, supplementing folks that own airplanes. So is there anyone out there that could help us do that and do that better? I just said we have 2 full-time employees and a few part-time employees. We do not have a legal team assigned at the airport. We do not have grant writers assigned at the airport. All the assets and the benefits and all the other employees that the Regional Aviation Authority has, that we're now part of that team. And it's a good team throughout the region. So we're excited about this. We've set it up an agreement to where I'll let Elliot talk about the investment, but this place needs to continue to improve. We have a waiting list for hangars. There's a lot more interest, and we're actually satisfying the need. And Elliot, at one of the very beginning meetings, said if we ever turn a profit on this place, we'll split it maybe 50-50. So we just want to run a really good airport. We want to have an airport in Berkeley County that we're really proud of. Our motivation was not splitting a profit in the future 50-50, but that's also part of the contract. So there's a lot of wins in this, and with that, I want to invite my friend Elliot up so we don't have to.
Thank you, John. First of all, Marshall, Johnny, let me tell you, you got a nice airport. Really. Stacy and her team should be commended on how really well run this place is. It's clean. The first, her and I came up here, I think it was 18 months ago for the first time, and the first impression we had when we came up is how manicured everything was, how clean everything was. And I watched as some of her folks were talking on the radio to someone flying in, asking them if they needed fuel, asking them if they needed anything. You know, that personal touch, which immediately I was impressed by, I have to say. And so y'all should know that your employees that now we get to inherit are doing a wonderful job representing Berkeley County. At the Regional Authority, we have 3 basic things that run our culture. 1, hard work works. We might not know everything, but we're gonna work harder than everybody else. 2, we're not gonna find 25 ways to say no. We're gonna find a 1 way to say yes. If it makes sense for you and it makes sense for me and it makes sense as partners and to our public, we do it. And 3, we put our best foot forward. This is our home. The Charleston region, Berkeley, Dorchester, Charleston counties, the low country of South Carolina is our home. And Johnny, I know because of how long we've known each other, how much that means to you from your days in hand-to-hand, from North Charleston to hand-to-hand now here as the supervisor. I know how you're affected by that the same way I am. And this airport does that. We're excited about the investment we're going to make here. First thing we're going to do is really use our engineering staff. Like Johnny said before, we've got a dedicated engineers, architects on staff at the authority. We've got grant writers. We deal with the FAA on a daily basis. Things that normally Berkeley County would have to subcontract that out to or bring in consultants, which are very expensive. We have that in-house. So right off the rip, we're going to be able to do master planning and really understand from not just the airfield, but also from the infrastructure coming in here, as Johnny talked about the growth, of really understanding what this entity needs to take it from good to great. And so we're going to be able to save money for the citizens of Berkeley County in that way. No longer will this place run as a deficit for the citizens of Berkeley County. We're going to assume that responsibility. So it's a win for the taxpayers, and as a former elected guy at a county, I know that's a big deal. So we're really excited about what this means. Yes, there's a waiting list for hangars. Yes, there's possibilities of air schools. Not only is this really an economic development opportunity for Berkeley County and for the whole region, it's a quality of life story. I really feel that the Aviation Authority's, one of its major purposes is to enhance the aviation industry and culture. You have lots and lots of folks who fly every day. Judge Maloney's back here, he's a pilot, who really are aviation enthusiasts, and it is really a great opportunity really for us to be able to enhance that and then also be able to partner with our other 2 airports, general aviation airports that we manage, both JZI and LRO. So now with MKS, really there's going to be great opportunities for all 3 of them to work together. I was teasing Stacy earlier. We were in Johns Island not long ago, and I was kind of ribbing at those guys who have the lease out there at Atlantic. I'm like, hey, there's a new standard, pal. You need to go up to MKS. They know what they're doing up there. So we're going to learn from them to some degree on how they do their customer service, but hopefully they'll get to learn from us, and we'll be able to really insert into this, in this airport, real fresh capital to help enhance it. Any questions?
Yeah, we got lots of questions. Okay, I'll start. How long have you guys been planning this, and why are the viewers and the public just finding out about this now?
So I think we came up here for the first time about 18 months ago, took a tour, and then, as y'all might, be paying a little bit of attention to what's happening at the international terminal, that sucks up about 99% of my time. And so certainly we are very busy at the international terminal. We're in the midst of a $1 billion capital program there. So while we were in that planning stages, we were in the process of understanding what this function of this airport was and building a business plan with our folks to understand, to make sure this made financial sense, not just for Berkeley County, but for the authority.
So was the public ever notified about this prior to this agreement?
I can speak to that. Go ahead. We make, the answer part of your question is we contemplate, think about a lot of things in government. Can we do something better? Can we have a partnership? And sometimes those work out and sometimes they don't. And sometimes you spend 6, 8, 10, 12 months on something and it never materializes to anything. At county government, the board and the Aviation Authority, they had to actually vote on this, and so did we. So we have to provide public notice, have a county council meeting, meet at committee, meet at council, vote on it. There's public comment period. So all of that was done per the law, and this actually happens on July 1st. So that's the whole process. But again, we've been talking about it a long time, and yeah, you got to get over the excitement of this seems great. We could do this, and it's just all positive. A responsible thing to do in government is spend a lot of time thinking about the unintended consequences. Like, are we missing anything? Is there any negative to this? I mean, and so meeting with staff and having our staff meet with their leadership and their staff, and how is everything going to work out, that's what takes so much time. And if all of those, if we were told at the beginning, we want to own the land, we're not going to hire any of your people, and all that kind of stuff, the conversations end pretty quick. So that's why it took so long, and we're announcing it now, and obviously in a little over a month, they're going to take it over. I don't know that initially, or for the first many months when you show up here, you'd be able to tell one difference in the world. But hopefully you'll see a capital project going on, and you'll see the airport being used more often, and this amenity will benefit everyone.
Elliot, you were saying moments ago how this is economically a great move for Berkeley County. Can you expand on that a little more? How is this partnership expected to affect the local economy and the job market?
We, one thing we tout in Berkeley County, we struggle with the reality of it when we tout it. We're averaging $1 billion a year in economic development. There's 46 counties in the state, we're one of them. So we're 2.2% of the counties, and we've been carrying 40% of the state's economic development. So those people are flying into Berkeley County. And are they flying into the Berkeley Airport so they can get in and out of town? And we have a lot of people retiring here. We have people that have worked an entire career in Berkeley County and have lived in Berkeley County, and they're at this airport. And they're going to benefit from the improvements that come to the airport. The improvements are for everyone. So whether it's industry flying in, whether it's a loved one flying into a graduation to get in and get out, there's so many positives associated with this. That's the biggest thing. But if you just hone in on economic development, having an airport in close proximity you can fly into in the county that you're actually looking to invest $100 million, billion, recently $3.5 billion, that's certainly an asset that we should have in the county.
Are there any plans for infrastructure upgrades or expansions under this agreement?
Absolutely. So the first thing we're going to do is we really got to know what we have. Certainly we've taken a cursory look at what is here from an infrastructure standpoint. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to take our engineering staff, we're going to work with the FAA, and we're going to do a good master plan here. Just like Johnny and them do with their planning staffs on infrastructure and on neighborhoods, on economic development, airport's no different. It's really truly a microcosm of what an entire city might be, because it needs water, it needs sewer, it needs public works, and it needs vertical construction. So we're going to take a really good master plan and draw up a great master plan for this place, and then we'll start executing on that. But certainly, yes, you will see more hangars. You're going to see hopefully a flight school. You're going to see us working hand in hand with his staff and his economic development folks to make sure, and his planning staff for that matter, to make sure we amenitize this in the right way. I'm not a shoot, fire, aim guy, right? I want to make sure that we plan this out correctly, and it is something that when Johnny Cribb and Elliot Summey are long gone 40 years from now from doing this stuff, that is something that we can leave as a legacy and people can be proud of, that folks at Berkeley County can be proud of. I might be from North Charleston, I might have been a Charleston County guy, but the folks in Berkeley County, I've got tons of family lives here. Jim Rozier was a dear friend of our families, and so we've always had a love for Berkeley County. And so, and Johnny and I go way back. So we're going to do everything we can to make this very special for this county and the citizens that live here.
Could this mean any potential commercial flights?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. This airport is not set up for that. The runways aren't big enough. No, there will be no 737s landing out here. You don't have to worry about that. And if they do, they're going to be running off the end of the runway. So that's not going to happen. That stays down at the international terminal where we are blessed to have a great partnership with Joint Base Charleston, who maintains our runways. And I think we've got one of the finest airports in the country. down at the International Terminal. So this is to enhance the quality of life and economic development for the folks of Berkeley County, not to somehow divert traffic from Charleston. That's just not in the realm of possibility.
What is Berkeley County's current financial investment in this airport, like yearly budget line item? Is that how that works? Will that investment stay the same year over year?
No, we still own the land. It's still the Berkeley County Airport, but we will be providing no funds from this point forward. But we provided, funds for this airport, and we had revenue for this airport. It was really well run. So all the fuel sales and everything else that comes in will go to the authority to offset some of their expenses.
So I think the major thing to think of too is I think it was about 500, 600,000 a year, I think is what it was costing Berkeley to run this airport. They no longer have to do that. Again, as Johnny said, it's a well-run airport, but speaking from experience, when you're on a county council and you're having to choose between a capital project of buying dozens of cars for the sheriff's office, or fixing something at the landfill, or doing a master plan here at the airport, you're picking and choosing winners and losers, and it's not fair to any of those departments to have to compete. But your tax base is only as big as it can be. So Berkeley County does a lot of great things for a lot of great people. The Aviation Authority does one thing for people. And I think that's what matters. In this airport, by us taking over the management of this airport, we get to do the one thing we do well, right? We're sort of like Canes. We don't do nothing but they don't do nothing but do chicken, but we don't do nothing but do airplanes and aviation. And so we're going to be able to be hyper-focused and give Stacy and her crew not only the money, but the expertise, the back of the house expertise that does nothing but help make their job easier and better.
And I know asking for a number might be difficult, obviously, but isn't that, it's clearly a large financial incentive for Berkeley County, for the Aviation Authority. You're putting money in here. Is it going to be a certain percent of your budget? Is it just money that you guys have that you're willing to spend in this area?
So obviously we're taking over the operational side of it, so that's given. Once we do the master planning, then we're going to understand phasing how we invest capital, but it will be millions of dollars over time that we invest in this airport. It's not a small investment, and it's not a small task on our part.
And so is this Charleston County taxpayer?
No, ma'am. We are not part of county government. That's why our name was changed a few weeks ago. We're the Charleston Regional Aviation Authority. The only reason county was in the name originally is the original jurisdiction of the legislature. When legislation that was done to form the Aviation Authority was the border of Charleston County, the South Santee to the Edisto River, up to Lincolnville from the harbor. So it was the original jurisdiction. However, in our legislation it says we can do business in our neighboring counties, so Berkeley, Dorchester, Colleton, and Georgetown counties. So we're within our legislation. But no, we do not collect tax dollars from the county. We're not part of county government. We are an authority, just like the Port Authority or Medical University of South Carolina. So we are in no way affiliated with the taxpayers of Charleston County.
Now the county has, managed this airport for 2 decades now. Why did now feel like the right time? Was it just, purely financial, or were there other things, other factors involved?
It was just the best time, and we see what's going on with the Aviation Authority. I've known Elliot for a long time, and when he got that position, I affectionately told someone, go take a picture of that place right now and then go take a picture of it in 10 or 20 years. I knew he wasn't going to sit on his hands and not do anything. It was really going to improve. So relationships are big in the Tri-County. And that's why we had the lawyers work really hard on contracts, because you don't go into the future based on current relationships. That might get something going, but contractually what you put in place is a big deal. So I would say, gosh, I wish we'd have done it a year ago or a year before that, but there's no time like the present. This is the best time to do it for us is right now, and maybe it's with all the work that's going on at the regional authority, maybe some of that has fallen in place and the plan is being executed, and now there's the capacity and bandwidth and all to really focus on something like this by the authority. So we know how we came to the decision. How can we offer the best airport for our residents and our visitors and our guests? And was that going to be grow the government and put a whole bunch more money in it. And Elliot hit on something keenly earlier. We have about 55 departments in Berkeley County. None of them get everything they ask for every year at budget time. So it's really difficult when you're thinking about response time in the sheriff office and response times in EMS and how quickly we're answering a call in 911 and are we cleaning ditches out fast enough and all of that. I think he nailed it when he said we wake up thinking about airplanes and flights and all, and we go to bed every night thinking about that. I go days and weeks and months without thinking about this place, and that's as honest as I can be with you, because of what faces us each and every morning as a county government.
Anyone else?
I have some more. So as far as the aviation board, how will that change, if it will change at all? And will Berkeley County still have a seat at that table to make decisions?
Our board, the Aviation Authority Board.
Right.
So our board is constructed by the South Carolina legislature, and so no, it does not change. But certainly, they always will have a seat at the decision table because this is in Berkeley County. This is Berkeley County's real estate. We are not taking title to it. We are partners, just like I am with all 15 other airline partners, the many concessionaires that do business with the Aviation Authority. We have some 30 different partners that we do business with, and we do the same thing with the city of Charleston, town of Mount Pleasant. Both of our other airports are in those jurisdictions. Matter of fact, JZI is split in half between the county and the city of Charleston. So we actually deal with both from a permitting standpoint. So anytime we go to build anything, do anything, we're going to be going through the same zoning, permitting issues, dealing with Berkeley County. And so obviously we're going to stay in communication with all of Johnny's staff going forward. We wouldn't do anything with this airport without having their buy-in first, because ultimately at the end of the 40 years it's their asset. So this is not something where we're taking the title of the real estate and they're out of the picture. That's not it at all. This is truly a partnership.
July 1, what's going to be the impact for the Berkeley County communities?
You won't see anything different than it is now. Again, this is us coming in. It's run well. It's run great today. This is a financial and investment opportunity to enhance this airport. This is not us saying we're going to reinvent the wheel here. Stacy and her group do a wonderful job. Like I said, I was beating up on some of my guys at Johns Island, pointing back to MKS, saying, "Hey, y'all can learn some lessons over there." So understand, there's nothing will change on July 1st other than the fact that, and we're not going to wait till July 1st. We're going to start the master planning process now. Again, we have folks on staff, right? The things that happen at the international terminal don't happen in a vacuum. The airlines don't dictate that. They don't invest in our business. They don't lease gates, they don't invest, they don't put capital into it. We do that. The Aviation Authority does that. And it's our staff led by Hernan Pena and his group of wonderful engineers and consultants that do that. They're the ones that plan that out. So all the construction you see in that $385 million parking garage coming out of the ground, that's our folks doing that. Obviously we have contractors, we have other consultants, but it's our staff, our legal department, finance department, everyone. They're the ones leading that effort. Yes, ma'am.
Johnny, I have a question for you. This is the second announcement this week of Berkeley County partnering with Charleston. Are there any more Berkeley County-Charleston collaborations we can expect in the future?
None. I thought of that earlier. I've been here 6.5 years now as a county supervisor. We haven't done any, and we've done a couple in a week. Certainly, if something presents itself, we would take advantage of that. But we do this type of stuff all the time. The sheriff is here with us today. We partner with the town of St. Stephen for law enforcement, and Bono and Jamestown, and we're doing things that make sense all the time. Sometimes we're the big fish, and we're helping someone else. But this is a couple of unique opportunities. If you follow Berkeley County government, we partner with the school district frequently. There's a lot of joint efforts and a lot of things we work together on to try to get a good result, whether it be it's the county's responsibility or it's the school district's responsibility. So this just happens to happen within the same week. Nothing was orchestrated or planned. It could have happened different. Heck, we could have done them both in the same day, but it's just the way it worked out, random.
I think the important part is to understand this is good government, right? I mean, when you have governments collaborating together, like Johnny talked about working with the Berkeley County School District. I know there was another guy who used to run a city kind of south of here. Another Summie, he would partner with Dorchester District 2 to build natatoriums and amenities for the citizens that live here. That's the same thing happening here. This is good government. This is saving the taxpayers money. This is enhancing their quality of life and not at their expense. And I think the Berkeley County Council should be applauded for that. I always look at issues when you see a vote happen, and you understand when it really makes sense is when it's unanimous. Okay? Berkeley County Council and our board both unanimously voted to do this. And that council, like our board, have very diverse people with diverse backgrounds and diverse opinions. But this is good, conservative, economic decisions and good government.